So I have a question for everybody. Is it possible that shame is the thing that is keeping you broke, keeping your bank account lower than you want, keeping you from manifesting the wealth of your dreams, keeping you from being who you really know you could be financially? What do you think, Bill McKenna?
Well, at first glance, you would think, what the heck does that have to do with finances? There's nothing there that could prevent me from being prosperous. But on further glance, uh, it's obvious. You know, in the Bible, right? If you're a Catholic or anyone that is into that, Christianity is like it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. And you're like, I remember, all the years of my life growing up, and it was like pounded. It's like, damn, it's like I want to be rich, but oh, dang, you're really stuck. It's a stuck position. But that's only one thing, right, Liz?
Oh, it's so true. That's just one little thing. Have you ever heard your parents, if you guys are out there listening, do you ever hear your parents talk about rich people in a negative way? Well, they're rich, so they must not be very nice.
Or
They're
not happy.
yeah, or not. Oh, they're rich, but they're not happy. They're rich, but they're selfish. For you to want that, you should be ashamed if you want to be those people, because really, us poor people, we're the nice people. We're nice. It's that shame of wanting it, that shame of feeling that you could be something that's not good if you're wealthy, if you're rich.
Yeah. And they're often will point it out, about a relative,
Mm-hmm.
about a relative. I have a funny story. I remember uh I had one of my nieces all out. At the time I had a yacht, and niece was maybe 13 years old or so, and other niece, they came to spend, some days over on the island. And I remember I was there, and she starts asking me, how many people have you fired? And I'm like, well, I think there was about maybe three people, and the president of the company didn't want to do it, so he handed it to me, and it was the worst thing in the whole world. I absolutely hated it. It was horrible. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I thought you made your money by buying companies and then firing everybody."
Oh,
And I was like, I was like, what? What? There's a perception once you have money that somehow you did something horrible,
get it.
absolutely horrible to somebody else. And that was simply not the case. I didn't, I did it reluctantly. There was only a few times. And, perception, right? It's so easy to think of somebody or to defend your position of, you know, we don't have money because we're good people.
We're good
That's why.
people. That's right. Here's another thing. You're not good enough. You're not good enough to have money. You feel as though you feel the shame of, who am I to actually deserve money? I'm not good enough to make money. I mean, that is one of the deepest root chakra shames. I'm just not good enough. I don't know if you had someone in your life who said, well, who do you think you are? Why do you think you're so special that you should have that? I mean, for some people, that's a big one, right?
Oh, it really is. I was in, I think, before the age you could work, you could get a work permit. And they had these government programs where you could get a job. And, you know, I was all about that, you know, so I'm like, yeah. So I got a job cleaning toilets at Hilltop Junior High School. That was my job. I cleaned toilets and I also picked up rocks, you know, and you know, sweating in the field picking up rocks. And I remember there was like one of the head janitors, you know, and the subject, you know, came up, you know, of you know, going to school or, you know, going to, you know, somehow prospering. And I still remember he was like, "You think you're better than us?" And I was like, "I'm cleaning the same damn toilets as you, man. You know, ain't no different, you know." But really, it is a very much a feeling
That
that
is a
a
big
lot of
one.
people have.
A big, big one. Do you think you're better than us? Wow. Here's one. We had somebody who said in an event that they were worried because they didn't want to outshine the rest of their family. You know, they didn't, none of their family were entrepreneurs. And, you know, my question to them was, would you be willing to be the first in a long line of entrepreneurs? If I become successful, do I leave my family behind? Is that a shameful thing to do? It's a weird one because you would imagine that you could lift everyone up, but the shame of being better than them or the perception of it keeps a person down. Here's another one that might be more relevant to some people. Have you ever overdrawn your bank account? Have you overspent? You know, have you been a victim of QVC where you didn't do well with your finances? Have you had mistakes with your credit? This is so massively shame-filling for some people that once it happens, they can't get out from under it. They've labeled themselves that. It's a huge, huge shame. Society shames us for it. And most people, it's more shameful than almost anything else there could be, is really having a problem in your finances that negatively impact you. So that's a big one.
Bankruptcy. Uh,
Bankruptcy.
that's a huge one that stays with people that no one ever wants to talk about.
Right. You know, and a fresh start in finances happens right now and right now and right now. The truth is, what happened before is before, and you begin at the place that you are. Once shame is no longer a part of that conversation, you're just free to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing until your finances are great, until your credit is great, until you are having the life that you want. So here's the question for everybody. And we're going to do a little session to see if you can locate whether or not shame is an issue for you and your finances. So what does everybody need to do to prepare, Bill? What do they need?
All you need is a pen and a piece of paper and a willingness to simply be open to discovering. Liz is going to walk you through a session, and what we're going to do is ask one and only one question. And that is, has shame kept me from financial abundance?
Yeah. So you may already have heard yourself in our discussion, and you may already be feeling that little niggling feeling in your body, that discomfort about shame and your finances. So hold on to that. If not, if it hasn't happened for you yet, see if you can find it while we're doing this exercise. You can take a pen and follow it. I'm going to use the Cogno ball because it's far easier to see. And we're actually going to start with your ball in your right hand. And we're going to ask the question. Say the question again, Bill.
Has shame kept me from financial abundance?
Good.
Allow yourself to simply, as Liz is doing, follow the ball or follow your pen.
Okay. So we're simply going to follow. Let your eyes follow. You've got this ball 6 to 8 inches from your head here, not far, pretty close in. and pulled back toward your ear, toward your shoulder, and let your eyes stretch and begin the question. Is shame, has it played a role in your finances, in your inability to have the wealth that you choose? Moving slow. Ask it to yourself. Is shame what's holding you back? And listen to your body. See if there's something that gets active. And let your thoughts go where they go. You might see a moment, place, and time. Breathe. If you find a spot that really is sore for you, stop and hold your eyes there. Just breathe. Hold your eyes. Breathe it through until it releases and move on. You're already doing great. Good. Stop above your head now and ask the question again. Is shame playing a role in your inability to have the wealth that you want? Let's move back the opposite way and just breathe. This is one of the most basic Cognomovement moves, but it's so effective in helping you find the possibility of what's holding you back. Breathe, make sure you breathe.
If you find an area that your eyes feel uncomfortable, park the ball there and ask the question. See what comes.
Good. Keep the ball moving unless you found that spot. If you found the spot, stop, ask the question, and breathe. All right, up over your head again. We're going to ask the question one more time. Where is shame holding me back? Ask it a little different. Where is shame holding me back in my finances? And let's rock back the other direction. Slow, slow, slow. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Letting your eyes stretch. What we're really doing here is letting your nervous system take a look at this question about shame and money. Keep going. Like Bill said, if you find a tough spot, hold it there and see what information might come. You're doing great. Good. With the ball up over your head, take a big deep breath in. Bring it down and let your head rest and your eyes rest for a moment. You probably are going to notice a lot of activation in the eyes. You don't normally move your eyes like that, but let them rest. And with your eyes closed, ask the question again, where is shame for me? Really good. All right, take your pen or your ball. I'm going to have you move it left and right at chest level. And then just move it up the body. You want to put both hands on the pen or the ball, just moving it up. Left and right, all the way up the body. Big deep breath in again. And let it go. Now, for most of you, there was a feeling that came up and an inkling of an idea. Write it down. Write it down. There's a lot more to do around this if you found where shame really is playing out a role for you. We're having a class this Saturday. It is April 20th. We're beginning a series of clearing out some of these heavy, lower level emotions, feelings, patterns in the body. And this is just one of the topics that you could work around shame. Shame and relationships, shame and weight and body, shame and children, shame and every other topic in your life. If you come to this class, it's recorded. You could work whatever you found today around shame and money and start your money flowing right away. And then you can watch the replay again and again throughout the month and do it on the next topic and the next topic and the next topic if you choose. So that thing that you've written down where you discovered where shame is playing a role, Bring it with you to class on Saturday. It's amazing how fun it is to clear these things out. I know it sounds awful, but it's really, really energizing and fun, and it gives you back your energy. Don't you think that's the best part, Bill?
That is the best part. You ask yourself the question, what would my life be like without that shame? What would it be like? Most often we find that the shame is actually hidden. We didn't even realize that it was running in the background. When you release it, your whole life can change.
Here's the converse of that question. Who will you be? Who are you? Who are you when you have money? Who are you when you have enough to share, enough to keep, enough to be comfortable, enough to be happy? Have you ever even thought about it? What that looks like, what that person feels, that can be who you came to the planet to be? It's an interesting question. Join us on Saturday and join us for the rest of this 5-month series to make this year, 2024, your best year ever and make the rest of your life the best life ever.